Hola amigos, Coach Josh Gerry, and today we're going to talk about gear.
Hey guys, it's me, Tennille Dashwood, and you're watching Coach Josh Gerry.
Hey guys, Coach Josh Gerry here, and I know, lucha libre, professional wrestling mask, that may not be the first thing you think about when you think about pro wrestling gear, but here I'm going to line out some of the basics that you need to know when you're starting out as becoming a professional wrestler and getting your first set of gear. Now the basic thing is, rule number one, get some. Right? The difference between a professional wrestler and a guy pretending to be a professional wrestler is the gear. The difference between an independent pro wrestler and a pro wrestler that is on television is the gear. The clothes make the man, right? You know that saying? And same thing goes for professional wrestling. You have 7 seconds from the time you make an entrance in a professional wrestling match in front of a crowd to make an impression on somebody. What's the impression you're trying to make? A professional wrestler or a wannabe wrestler? So let's start with the basics. The first one is you got to get some elbow pads and some knee pads. I personally never wore elbow pads or knee pads when I wrestled. You could say I'm paying for it now, but I just didn't feel comfortable. Didn't feel I had the range of motion that I needed to as an active competitor in professional wrestling. So I nixed them. But you don't know because I tried the sleeves. I tried the elbow pads, I tried knee braces, I tried the volleyball knee pads, AMAs, all that stuff, and I just didn't like them. They felt constrictive, they kept sliding down, I just didn't like them, so I nixed them. So while you're training, get some, see how you like them, and then that way you can go ahead and roll and determine what you want to do. There have been several professional wrestlers that have wrestled without elbow pads or knee pads, so it's not a must that you have them, but it also makes sense from a competitor standpoint because you are hitting people with your elbows and your knees and you're hitting the mat and hitting the floor. It would make sense that you would want to protect them. Now, the number 2 thing, and probably the most important purchase you will make early on in your professional wrestling career, boots. I know, a lot of people say, but I wear tennis shoes or I wear wrestling shoes or I wear kick pads or whatever the excuse may be. Wrestling boots, first and foremost, sets you apart from a lot of guys on the independents to begin with. Take a look at the active roster on WWE, Impact Wrestling, New Japan, Ring of Honor, CMLL, AAA, and what are those guys wearing? Most of those guys are wearing boots. Now, yes, they are an expensive purchase. It does take a little bit to invest in yourself in a pair of professional wrestling boots, but when you're first starting out and you're trying to figure out who you are and trying to figure out who your character is and things like that, there's no reason to go out and spend $500 on a custom pair of wrestling boots. Go ahead, go on High Spots, eLucha, wherever you can. Get you a cheap pair of $100, $150 boots that are pre-sized. They're probably going to be too loose in areas and too tight in others, but it gets you used to wearing boots. That is what I'm going to recommend because when people go to a pro wrestling show, what do they expect to see? Pro wrestlers. So look the part. If you look the part, people will be a little bit more behind you. Can you imagine going to a pro wrestling event as an 8-year-old kid and the first guy that comes through the curtain is wearing shorts and a t-shirt? Right? And you've seen guys on television? Okay. So boots is one. Next one is you want to get some type of trunks or tights. Same thing. They don't have to be super custom when you're first starting out. Save that for later. But get you something so that you look like a professional wrestler. So it's your first match. It's your first 10 matches. Your first 50 matches. You're wearing pre-worn wrestling boots. You're wearing probably Dick's Sporting Goods knee pads, and you're wearing pre-made trunks or tights from High Spots. And you know what? That's okay. You already, in my opinion, look better than 90% of the guys on the independents anyway. You already look like a professional wrestler. Then, once you get the idea of wrestling and you start figuring out who you are as a character, who you are, what your gimmick is, what you want to be in the ring, then you can work on getting the custom stuff that has your name on it, has a logo, has a design, has your initials maybe on the boots is a good idea. I've seen that one before. And you can also start getting the flashy fabric that has the sequins or the metallic or the wet look to really pop and stand out when you audition or have your tryout matches or seminars, camps, whatever, with the big companies. You will be able to pop out that good gear and they say, I could see that guy on television. I cannot tell you how many camps, seminars, and tryouts that I have been to where guys have been told, man, we love the way you wrestle, we love your attitude, and we love what you do in the ring, but your gear looks like crap. Upgrade the gear, and we'll think about it. So go ahead and nix that right now. Go ahead and get the gear while you can. But looking the part is the biggest thing. Like I said, you've got 7 seconds from the time you walk out of the curtain to the time that the audience makes up their mind whether they want to cheer you, boo you, or don't give a crap about you. Make the best impression. Put your best foot forward. Okay? Now, I'm going to go ahead and say this. If you've made it this far, I'm sure the idea has come to your head. But Josh, Kevin Owens wears a t-shirt, or so-and-so wears wrestling shoes, or John Cena wears cargo shorts. Okay, those guys are getting paid a whole lot more money than I am. They're getting paid a whole lot more money than you are. But they're where you want to be. Okay? You're not Ric Flair. You're not John Cena. You're not Kevin Owens or Sami Zayn. Do what gets the people seen and there. I know that is so much of a do as I say, not as I do mentality. When I started out professional wrestling, I wore a shirt and I wore the cargo pants, but I did get a pair of all leather combat boots and got a wrestling sole put on them. So I do have that going for me. But I've learned. I've been around guys. I've been around TV. I've been around pay-per-views. I know what the higher-ups are looking for, and I know what makes them do the double take, okay? You want to be seen. You want to be noticed. And in a sea of guys wearing red and black, I'm getting to that, stand out. Color. Color is a huge thing. You've got your wrestling boots, you've got your trunks and your tights, you've got your elbow pads, and now you're looking at custom gear. Everybody wants to wear black and red. Those are the two biggest colors in professional wrestling that people want to wear. You want to stand out? Try yellows. Try greens, try purple, try blue. Or better yet, get a set of each. You go to a show, see what everybody's wearing, and then you wear the one that stands out. This business is based on aesthetics, and you have to be able to stand out. The pre-made gear from High Spots or eLucha is fine when you're starting out, but you need to figure out a way that you're going to work and get custom stuff that really steps out so you look different than other people. I'll talk about that more. I just don't have time in all these videos, guys. If you've got comments, put them in the questions, comments, whatever. Put them below. And as always, you can subscribe to me, new videos every week, and click for more videos, and hit up my social media in the links below, man. I'd love to hear from you guys. Until then, keep driving and striving.